So welcome back. In the last tutorial we left off at the portfolio session. In this tutorial we're gonna continue to finish. Gonna start the about and the contact. So without further delay, let's get started. Let me close this one. I'll go down here, choose the about. Go to the class, we give it to it right here. So we had the about content and the indicator, and we had this session right here and our indicator. So first let's talk about this, because in our final project we're using a background image. So let's do that. So say background, I will specify the image. Okay, it's URL and it's 2./ because inside the images folder we look for about dash we look for mobile dash, that's right here, mobile about background that JPEG. We save it. We don't see anything here, but you see a change of color right here. Now we can say position to be center, and say size, background size to be cover, and background repeats to be no repeats. We save it. You can see glimpse of the image right here, but now this is not long enough to hold it. So if you take a look right here, we have this class default section spacing, and our contact also had a default section spacing, and also we have something called session heading, which is this, and this one has it also. So we're gonna create those real quickly. The default session spacing, we give some spacing on our top and our bottom so it look nice, so we're not stuck to the edge right here. And the session heading, we add some margin to the bottom. So without further ado, let's work on this one. Default session spacing. Let's copy this, close this one now. Let's go back to the base and choose utilities. Let's start it right here. So paste this, give it a padding top of 8 rem and padding bottom of 8 rem also. Save it. Now we need to import this, so let's go back to the main.scss and base, that import our utility class file. So this, we save it. Now we can see, now I add the padding, you can see right here also. Now let's create one for the session heading inside the utility also. So session heading, and for that we just adding a margin bottom of 8 rem also. We save it. Now it look like a little bit nicer, and also that'll be it for this. Now let's go back, let's close this one up. Let's go back here, and we have this, but you can see you can't really read this, so we need to push this image a little bit down. So for that, I will set our text online to be center. I will set the position to be relative. I set the overflow to be hidden, and now we set the padding bottom. By default it had 8, now I set 50 RAM, so I can push this little bit down. I save it. Now you can see it push it down, and this is a line in the center. Now let's change this background image on tablet devices because this is for the mobile. So all we have to do is use our Mason, include response MD as is the background image and specify URL. Let me just copy this and change the name. Paste. Now instead of mobile, it will be tablet. Save it. Now you see nothing changed, but as soon as we start scrolling, now this is how it looks like on a tablet. Now let's move this down a little bit. So we say padding that bottom. Let's set to 55 RAM. Save it. Now it push it down a little bit. Actually, let me to 60. Save it. Now it move it down. Now let's go back on the bigger screen. And you can see it doesn't look that nice. So let's fix that. At include response LG. I will change the background color again. Background image. I will paste the URL, and instead of mobile, it will be desktop. I save it. Now you can see it changed right here. Now we need to put this one from center to the left. What did I say? Text align center, left. Save it. Now we are on the left right here, but you can see we have some spacing issue right here. We're not really on the same right here. The paragraph. So let's take a look what's happening. You can see all our paragraph have margin of 1.6 RAM all around it. We don't want that, we just want on the bottom. So let's go fix that real quick. So to fix that, let's finish this real quick and let's go fix that. So I will display this as flex, and so I want to align this in the middle of this section right here. So align center, align item to be center. I'll give it a height on 100 viewport height, so it fill the whole screen. Now it's taking this padding bottom right here, so I'm gonna take that one off. So padding, that bottom we set it to 8 RAM for the default. Save this. Now you can see nice center in the middle. Now let's go fix the paragraph issue. So go back to typography here. So you can see, as you can see right here, it should be margin bottom. Save it. Now everything looks nice, as you can see, and this is good. So we close this for now. right here we select the about contents and we set its width to be 100%. We save it, nothing changes, and the indicator it says left, sorry, on larger screen I include respond LG. I will set left property to 0, so make sure it's take right here. So we go back this, see, look nice. This tablet right here, see, scroll, this is mobile and it still look nice. Now that's the about. Now let's go to the contact section, and this is the contact section right here. There's not a lot much going on here. Only thing, they are on the same line right here. So let me close this about and then create the contacts session here. I say contacts, and then by default this already run. I say add a spacing already. Now this is the finish. I can say add a spacing already, but I want to set the contact contents. This one says width to 100%. So I will select the first. I will set the this one position to be relative, and then the width, the content width to be 100%. I save it, nothing changes. Now if you see right here on smartphone, this, sorry about that, you can see on smartphone this right here, the form is on one line, but if we increase the width, these two are side by side, 2 column, and on the larger screen also 2 column. So let's take care of the mobile first. And right here we have a class called dflex that's wrapping these first 2 elements, these 2. So we use this class dflex to display a flex to put these next to each other, and a mobile phone just display them as black. So with that, let's get started. So I will go down here. I will first say dflex. By default it display as black, so we don't need to do anything. But on medium devices, so include respond md. I want to display it as flex. Now it does nothing right here. On larger screen it will display as flex also, because the medium to large, this we see apply to it. So if I increase this, you can see now we are side by side. With that, now let's customize these inputs. So with that, go inside your component and choose your form, the SCSS right here, and go back to the main and let me make sure we import it. So forms, we save it, nothing changes. Now let's customize this. First we start with our form with the class form, and then we have a form group that wrap around the input, and we have a label. Then we have a label, then we have the input, and we all have classes. So let's do that. So I say form open, and then we'll let it target a form group. Remember, this is 2 underscores. I would say width to be 100%. Set position to be relative. I will give it a margin bottom to 2 rem. See that? You can see a little bit of change right here, the margin bottom. Now we go to the label. So form label. I give a margin bottom to be 1 rem. Now nothing changes. Go over inline element, so the margin won't work on it, so we set it to be inline black, so we add like a black level element but still maintaining the inline. So display inline black. Now you can see a little bit of shift, and this asterisk the inside. For example, let me show you this one. See the asterisk that show that require inside the span. So let's target that. So I say span that is inside of the label. I'll give it a color or the danger. Save it. I don't know if you can see, but on your screen you should see the change color right here. So with that, then move on to the inputs. Now the input are displayed as inline, but we want to display them as black, so we can take a full width of its container. So I say display block. And I say outline. This is the outline. When I click on it, this blue outline, I want to get rid of it. We say none. Save it. Now you can see it go on the next line, and also the outline disappears. So it says width to be 100%. Now it's stress to the full width as container. It says padding to be the button padding. So button, I want to have the same padding as the button, which is 1.6 rem top and bottom and 2 rem left and right. Save that. No, not padding, all over. So I'm just padding bottom. You can see. Now let's get rid of this border and add our own border. First I will set a background color to be transparent, as font size to be 1.6 rem, the border, and then we can include our border. So this is how it looks right here. So you can type whatever you want in it. So this is how it looks. So now let's keep going. Now we want to give the user some feedback. Let's say we hover over it, or when you click on it, to show them that this thing be hover or click. So we're gonna add a hover and focus to this. So say hover, focus, and we just want to change the border color. So the border color to be the accent. Save it. Now let's try. See, we hover over it, it changes, and when we click on it, it's focused. So let's add a little bit of transition. So I say include transition. Save this. Now it look nicer. Now we want to what our JavaScript. Let's say once we click it right here, we get this shaking and this red border color and this message right here. So let's style that real quick. So let's say when it come invalid, we're gonna add a class to the input element right here, and one class called is invalid, and with that class added, our border color will be the danger color. Now this is under number. If you go back to the index and add a class right here, let's just say is invalid. I save it. You can see it turned to be this red color. Save this, then works. Now the shaking and the animation. So this is something new I want to show you. So say animation. As you can see, I take this method. So the name of your animation, the duration, the timing function, the delay iteration, the duration, and the fill mode. This one. So I say animation. For the name, I will call it shake. For the duration, I will just say 0.25 seconds. And for the timing function, I will say the ease and out. You can have all of this. And for the delay, nothing. I don't want any delay, so I will leave this one empty. And the iteration count just won't happen once. So I want to leave this also empty, and the direction I will say forward, so it stay where it was after it's finished. I save this. Let me get rid of this. Now let's create the animation. So to start it, we use the add symbol and say keyframe, and then we give name to the animation, in this case shake. Open the curly bracket, and we specify some numbers right here. You can use keywords like from, and then 2. The 2 is the finish, the from is the start, and the 2 is finish. Or you can use percentage. You can say like 0%, 25%, all the way to 100%. In this case, we use a 0%. So at 0%, I want this to be have transform, translate x to be 0, and at 50% during the animation, on the transform, translate x to be negative, to be 1 rand. So I want to shake it like to the forward and backward, and then 75%. I want to have this same thing again, so I'll copy this and paste it. Instead I want negative, so I'm gonna go forward and backward, and then 100%. I want that to return to 0 again. I save this. Now you see nothing happens. But if I go back here and add the class again, invalid, is invalid, and save it. Actually, let me quickly right here. Instead of doing once, I can say infinite. So I can keep doing it. So as you can see right here. Now this just gonna keep shaking That's the iteration count. So that's that. I will get rid of the class right here. As you can see, save it. Now since these are the same, I will get rid of the 0% and just leave it like this. Now this is gonna work. Now everything look nice, but as you can see, for the test area we had this resize and looks small, and the font size also is different. So let's go change that. So let's select the test area. Remember we added this extra class right here. Yeah, right here. Test area. And with the extra class, simple. We want to get rid of this resizing. So I say resize to be none. Save it. Now it's gone. Now I'm gonna give it a height of 20 rem. And see bigger, and the font family. Say fonts family to inherit. Now it had the same font family as all the rest. So this is how it looks like. Now let's give it some space right here. But first, our error message. So let me give one of them some error real quick. So for example, the first one, so I say this is required. Save this. Now we see our error right here. So let's start that real quick. So we say right here, I had the class error about the color, of danger, font size on 1.4 rem, as you can see. And for now, I will hide a display to be none, and we use JavaScript to show it later. So this is it right here. Now let's face it right here, add some space right here. So let's go back to our home. When we're here, let's grab this one, the second one, and give it some space. So remember, this is wrapped inside of the form group. This is form group, this form group. Let's grab the second one. So I say form group and child. I say the second one. I will say margin the left to be 2 rem. Save it. Now we have a little bit of space in between. And this is our form right here. Larger screen, smaller screen, everything stacked on top of each other. So now it wanna work. So that's it for the contacts. Now the last session with the folder right here. But first let's go back to our utility. So base utility, and I do the deflex class, and by default let's display it as block and larger screen, respond LG, let display as flex, display flex. Save it, and nothing changed here. So now let's do our folder. So I'll close this and close this, and we close the home also. I will clean this one up a little bit. So basically our main session is finished. Now we get to the folder right here. So inside my main.scss, I'll import the folder, which is inside of the component right here, the folder. So I'll import it. Relax. Now we close this one. Now we open it up. Now say folder. Now let's get background color to be the folder bg color. Save it. Now we have it right here. Again, some padding. Top and bottom to be foreground. Left and right to be 0. Save this. Now look nice. Now let's change these are the copyrights and these are social. So I do for the copyrights I said color the off-whites. Save this. Say margin bottom to be 2 rem. So give it a bit of space. This. And then I want to align them to center the this and this. So let me do that real quick. So I do the copy right and the social at social. Check test align be center. I save it. Now we are align the center. Now let's style this. It's a lot nice. So I said social. Now choose the anchor element because these are wrapped inside the anchor. I will give them a bit of space, margin left, right, except for this last one. So another selector, I will say A. I say the not pseudo element, and I specify. I say last child. So what is this one? There's this pseudo element called last child. We select the last element. We specify. So for example, let me just say A last child. Let me give it a border. So let's say include border. I see H. It's the last one. A, the last child. We had another one called first. Let me do this first. Now we set the first one. So the not, we select everything except for the last child. That's why this the not is for. So I will say all of the first one. Let me include the border, all of them except for the last one. So you can see all of them get a border except for the last one. For that we say margin that right to be 1.4 rem, so 14 pixels, and they all spread out nicely. Now let me get rid of border, and then we need to choose the eye side of it. So eye, that's what hold the icon font. Now it says color to be the off whites. Save it. And I want to add nice transition. So when you hover, we change color. So we say A, cover inside of A. When you hover on the A anchor element, the I, the color to be the accent. So I see that in action. So you can see it look nice like that. So that's mobile. Now let's see tablet. So this is tablet. So this we have no space to put them next to each other. So as you can see, it's wrapping inside this deflex class. So I would say right here, say deflex and medium devices. So add include respond md, say display as flex, save it. Now we are next to each other. Now I want to push this one to the end right here. So I say justify content space between, save it, and just like that. Okay, now we want to remain like that and larger screen also. Now this, now contact here we have a private for the indicator. So let's fix that on larger screen. So let me close this one out. Let's open the home. Also go to contacts right here. So here, let's see indicator on larger screen. Close respond LG. Set it to be right 0 and bottom to be -6 RAM, and then we appear right here, and that's it. The reason why I had the indicator on larger screen is because, as you can see, this take the whole viewport height, so the indicator has more content underneath. So if we scroll, they also show there's content underneath. Let's scroll, show more content underneath. Let's scroll, and they say there's level content. Now we finish off right here. On smaller devices, for example right here, it shows there's content. Let's say full height, that there's content, but as soon you get right here, it's still scrolling, you see more content. Even when you get here, see more content. So I really don't need this indicator. That's why I hide them on smaller devices and I show them on larger devices. So that's that. In the next video, we can add the JavaScript. So when you click this, it's gonna show. Click this, the menu gonna show, and when you start scrolling, this gonna change background color. And we add the validation for this the next week tutorial. So that'll be it for the styling, and thank you for taking your time and watching this tutorial. I very much appreciate it. So if you like, be sure to leave any question you have in the comments, and be sure to like, share and subscribe for the next week video. Until next time, see you.